Welcome to The Explainer. So, today we're digging into a story about industrial legacy, invisible dangers, and a really high-stakes choice that a whole nation is facing. It's a wild story where, believe it or not, the poison and the prize are one and the same. So let's take that question and make it real. Let's talk about a place called the Jos Plateau in north-central Nigeria. For generations, people have built families here, they've farmed the land, they've lived their lives. But you see, a whole century of industry has left something pretty dangerous hiding just beneath the surface. I mean, that is a seriously chilling statement. And it's not from just anyone. It's from the state's own Environment Commissioner. This isn't some sci-fi plot. For more than 100 years, tin mining has left behind this invisible, dangerous legacy. And now, even the highest levels of local government are sounding the alarm. So what exactly is going on here on the Jos Plateau? We're talking about a place people call home. The problem is the threat isn't something you can see or smell, which of course makes it even more terrifying.
It's a crazy irony, right? The very industry that helped fuel Nigeria's economy is now the source of this hidden environmental crisis. And these waste heaps and ponds, they're called tailings. They're not in some cordoned-off area. They are scattered all over the landscape, becoming a part of the very environment people live and work in every single day.
Okay, let's get into the science of what's happening here, because you really need to understand this to see just how big the problem is. This isn't just your normal everyday background radiation. No, this is something else entirely.
You see, the process of digging up tin ore also dug up radioactive materials that were safely buried deep underground. By bringing them to the surface, the mining industry created what scientists call TNORM. Yeah, it's a mouthful, I know, but stick with me, because this concept is absolutely key. All right, look at this number. 8,301 becquerel per kilogram. What does that even mean, right? Well, let me put it this way. Studies have found that the concentration of thorium-232 in the soil here is over 300 times the world average. 300 times.
And this chart, man, it just lays it all out perfectly. Look at the difference. In each pair, the bar on the left is the Jos mining area, and the one on the right is a normal, clean area. It's not just a little higher. We're talking orders of magnitude higher. It's just off the charts, dangerously so.
So look, this isn't some abstract science experiment. This has real, devastating consequences for people. They're being exposed through the air they breathe, the water they drink, the food they grow in this contaminated soil. And local health officials have already started to link this exposure to a rise in cancers and lung diseases in the area.
Okay, so we have a local health crisis. But to really get why this is also a national security threat, we have to look at a chilling story from not too far away. A story where an environmental problem completely spiraled out of control.
And the parallel here is just, it's impossible to ignore. Over in the Lake Chad Basin, the lake shrank by 90%. 90! This destroyed the lives of millions of people who depended on it for fishing and farming. And into that vacuum of desperation stepped extremist groups like Boko Haram, who found it all too easy to recruit people with nothing left to lose.
And this gets to a really critical idea that security experts talk about all the time, the threat multiplier. An environmental collapse like this takes all the existing problems, poverty, social tension, and just pours gasoline on the fire. When people can't provide for their families, when they lose everything, it creates the perfect storm for a security disaster.
But right when things look their absolute bleakest, the story takes this incredible turn. Believe it or not, there's a revolutionary solution hiding in plain sight.
So you have to ask, right? With contamination this bad and this widespread, what future could this place possibly have? Is it just a write-off? A permanent sacrifice zone? Too dangerous to ever live in again?
Well, the wild thing is, the answer is literally buried in the toxic waste itself. The poison is also the prize.
Because it turns out all that radioactive gunk contaminating the land, thorium, radium, and all sorts of rare earth elements, well, that stuff is also some of the most valuable, most strategic material on the planet. It's the key ingredient for everything from your smartphone and wind turbines to the most advanced defense systems. And this right here, changes the entire game. Unlike the Lake Chad crisis, where fixing the problem was just a massive cost, here, the solution could literally pay for itself. The cleanup process would actually involve extracting these super valuable minerals, which could fund the whole operation and create an enormous economic boom for the country.
But here's the catch, and it's a big one. This incredible opportunity, it's not going to be around forever. In fact, it's a frantic race against time.
This quote really gets to the heart of the dilemma. The order of events is everything. Just think about it for a second. What happens when people find out the true danger they've been living with for decades, especially if they feel like no one's been telling them the truth? A plan has to be in place before that happens.
So you've got these two paths forward, and they could not be more different. Path A is basically the Lake Chad scenario all over again. Word gets out, people are angry and scared, and it leads to conflict. But Path B, that's the golden opportunity. A government-led plan to clean up the land and share the wealth. That path leads to development. And the choice between these two futures is being made right now.
Which brings us to the final huge question here. The entire solution to the poison on the Jos Plateau is buried right there within it. So the question is, will Nigeria unearth an economic miracle, or will they accidentally trigger a security catastrophe? The future of the entire nation might just depend on the answer.